Welcome to Squidshot Photo Editing. We're going to be doing some basic photo editing to get the best out of our images without spending a ton of time on them. A basic photo edit with this procedure should take about 3 minutes. We're going to be using the same toolkit that we always use in these 3-minute videos, which is clarity, vibrancy, and contrast. We might also use a denoising tool. As always, we're using Corel Paint Shop Pro 2023 edition. Links to Corel products are in the description below. Typically on this channel, we use the complete standard workspace, which looks like this with all the tools going up the side and across the top. And then you have a bunch of menu options across the top above that. And over on the side, we usually have the histogram as well as the layers section and more options on top of that. This is the most complete version of Corel there is. That's why we always use it and will. But today, we're going to try the Photography Workspace, which is much more like an application you'd have on your phone for editing pictures, with sliders and things like that. No layers, very limited options on editing. But for the pictures I've picked out to edit today, I thought this would be a good platform to try out. Let's go ahead and pull up an image. We're using some product shots that I had done for Kristals Cosmetics. All right, let's scroll in and we make sure that this little divider is in the center of these words that are on the syringe. So that way we can see that the letters are getting better with our edits and we're not losing those letterings. Now let's see if the clarity tool helps with this lettering here. Okay. Pull the clarity up and let's watch this area. Okay, got a little better. As you see, when we're on this side, it's just a little bit hazier, and on this side, it's a little bit clearer. And that's really all we can expect. Let's look at this number. We're at 21. We'll take it a little further to see if we get more out of it, or if we start having some diminishing returns at this point. Actually, let's go back to 21 and watch the screen. Looks like it gets a little better. Let's scroll out and look at the entire image and make sure that we didn't have any weirdness or loss in these areas. All right, let's look at these crystals. Yeah, the crystal looks way clearer right here. Let's watch that. Yep, way more detail. Same thing down here. It's not as hazy. Everything looks cleaner and crisper. So let's look at the fill light tool real fast, because it is right here. Make sure that it doesn't negatively affect our letters. Okay, we put a fill light of about 9, so let's go back and forth. It's okay. It raised everything just a little bit. Even the letters, made them nice and clear. And I know it put some haze on here. We're going to be getting rid of that with our contrast tool next, don't worry. Yeah, honestly, it makes this section down here by Ruby Selected pop out a lot more too. So let's bake that in and say apply. Let's do a little vibrancy. Bring it back to 0 or default. Okay, let's go to one side of this gem. Pull the vibrancy up just a little and go side to side. We just want to make sure that we're not losing any of the darkness of those reds, the deepness of them, and them to not start turning pink or something like that. Turn it up a lot. and we'll see what happens. All right, the blues are super blue. Now, honestly, for this product shot, having this more accentuated, vibrant version might not be a bad idea. Let's do it. Let's bake it in. So truly, I'm liking the extreme vibrancy of the shot. And if you've seen my other videos, typically I don't do extreme vibrancy or anything like that. I like my pictures to stay a little more natural looking. But for this case, I'm kind of liking this extreme version. And I think we can tone a little bit of this down with our contrast. So let's go ahead and pull that up real fast here and hit default so that we can always start fresh with all of our tools. Okay, let's pull this contrast up just a little bit. And you see immediately it pulled this area down, it pulled the haziness out of the air, and it made all of these colors deeper as opposed to brighter, which is great. You don't want these to get too bright because then you lose all of that deep, deep red, and I'm not after that. But from the very beginning to where we are, that's wonderful. Now the question is, do we think it made it too dark? I say no, I think it's great. We don't have to worry about bringing up the brightness at all. Yeah, let's bake this in. Drop a contrast. Now, last step I'm going to do is see if a denoising tool will help at all. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It looks like the denoising tool in this platform is only an AI version of that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see what we get. Okay, here it comes. Let's really keep our eyes right here where these letters are and those dots and see if they go away. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, it's better. Let's look at a high pass sharpen as well. I don't want it to do hard light. I'd rather it do soft light. It's easier on the image. It's not as drastic. Scroll in and look at the strength. Down. Okay, so when I took it away, you could immediately see that it got hazier. Pull it back up, and it's better. Yeah. So let's keep it pulled up, and actually let's pull it even further than we had before and see what we get. Turn it all the way up. Why not? Okay, now we pulled up the radius and these letters even got darker, deeper, and more punched in there as opposed to having these little dots in between the letters. Wow, that's way clearer. Okay, let's close this one down and open up the next image. Okay, beautiful blue picture. It's going to be the same procedures that we do on this that we did on the last one, but we're just going to roll through it kind of quick. Alrighty, a little bit clearer. Got a fill light going, apply it, and we're going to look at vibrancy next. Hit default. Scroll in just a drop. A little much, let's pull it back. A little more, there we go. Now, we've got a bit of a pop. I think it's a little too extreme right here, so let's pull it back just a little more. There we go, we've got the pop without so much extreme going on. Yep. Bake it in. Now, brightness and contrast. Default it. And let's pull the haze off like always. Yeah, that's nice. So we're looking at the upper hand here, looking at the crystal. It's nice. Now let's look at these crystals down below. They're bluer and prettier and clearer. That's nice. Let's look at the jar itself. All right, the blues on the jar are popping a lot nicer. And on the edge of the stone that's leaning up against it, all the crystals over here look great. Now let's look at the background. Swoosh. Background is popping way more. Okay, let's bake this in and see if we can get a little more clarity with some high pass sharpening. Before we do that, let's go to the middle of the letters and then we'll hit it. And we're gonna hit default. Let's use a bit of a higher radius here. About 15 is great. And turn the strength on. And back. Let's watch these details. Yeah. You can see way more of the details of everything. It's way clearer. Let's apply it. Scroll back. And... okay guys, I think this is way better. Let's go ahead and export this. It's finished. It's an easy, quick edit. Okay, moving on to the next picture is this one. What do we got? Pearl. Okay. This one we're going to be working with same steps once again. Let's start with our clarity. Go to the middle of the letters. Scroll in. It doesn't look like the clarity is doing much, so let's go back to default like always. Punch it up just a little. Okay, we are getting a little bit of detail back into these letters here. It's not a lot, but it's enough for it to make a difference. All right, we're at 11. Let's see if it gets better if we chunk it up huge. Kinda, yeah. Okay. So let's keep that. I love how much deeper all these blacks are. The letters are really popping out. Scroll back. And the crystal in the hand is nice. The crystal at the base of the hand. Way nicer. Cleaner. These crystals are cleaner. The pearls. Let's look at the pearls. They look shinier and happier. Even these ones in the foreground. Okay. We're liking that. Let's touch the fill light and see if we lose more than we gain. Because this one's lit a bit differently. Yeah, I see no benefit to doing any fill light here. So let's just go ahead and bake in this clarity. Wonderful. And go to vibrancy. And default it. Let's scroll back and we'll look at the whole picture. Pop it up a little. Okay, these pearls in the back look nice. There isn't much of a change in the hand, which is good. I mean, these bright lines here are a little deeper, but nothing major. The crystal looks better. these crystals look better. Wow, the pearls look so much better. All right, I love it. Bake it in. Now, brightness and contrast, and hit default. And we're just looking to remove the haze pretty much. A bit too much. Let's go back a couple. There we go. Now these blacks are really deep. We didn't lose any of the details that we didn't want to lose. Let's go back and forth. Here we go. Boom. Look at that depth of color. Wonderful. That's all we needed. You can really see it in this left-hand side. The haze being removed from everything. Okay, bake that in. And I think we're done. Again, guys, beautiful image, happened in less than 3 minutes. Okay, let's close this one down and open up a new image. What are we working with this time? Rose quartz. Okay, once again, let's put our line in between the letters here. And we're going to start with the same thing, clarity. And we see that the last setting we used on the last picture did a good job. We can allow this one to move forward. You know me, typically I go back to default, but it's pretty much the same images with the same lighting. The last two had almost the same lighting, and the effect is beautiful. So we're going to keep this. And I doubt it will benefit from any fill light, but we will check. Not really, it's just highlighting the things that we don't want highlighted. So we'll leave the fill light out and bake in the clarity of 42 from the last picture. We'll do vibrancy, just like always. The last picture we had it set to 10, and it had a very similar lighting scenario. Yeah, I think it's making all the colors beautiful. Just a little pop, you can leave that at 10 from the last picture. And brightness contrast. This I always do fresh. It's hard for me to let go of that whole do it fresh. Make sure that you're not overdoing the contrast. Setting a 4, it pulled everything down, pulled all these up. You can see that hard line of the purple. And if we pushed any harder on the contrast, we'd get more of this breakage between these colors, and we don't want that. Let's look at, ooh, look at that pink on the bottle right here. Swoosh, swoosh, beautiful. Okay, the rocks themselves, cleaner, clearer, prettier, everything's great. Yeah, I didn't think we were gonna want as much contrast on this image, but once again, 3 steps, less than 3 minutes. All right, let's shut it down and open another. Okay, rock crystal. Same thing as always, clarity. Scroll in, let's look at our letters. Yep, made everything better. Bake it in from the last one. Vibrancy. No, I liked it at 10. Let's pull it up to 12. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, just made everything a bit golder, a bit cleaner and prettier. We like it. Bake it in. And contrast. Do it a little more. Most of the other images were so much darker that I thought, yeah, a little more contrast on this might be better. We can also pull down on the brightness at this point. There we go. Now these letters are popping. Even better. Look at that. Oi, I love it. Okay, let's bake that in. Obviously, you can just keep repeating this procedure. You don't have to get into any of the complicated stuff to get good edits. These 3 tools should be able to get you where you want to be with your images. And I hope doing these edits with me today was helpful and inspires you to get out there and do more. Give it a shot, a squid shot.